Once you have your garden set up, it doesn't really matter what time of the year it is. You have kind of like a bank account of fertility set up right there, and it's an opportunity to multiply your resources. End your efforts using no-dig gardening. When you work with nature, nature does 90% of the work in the garden. Ask me how I know, and I am forever grateful. How are you doing? I'm Martin from Gardens for Life and Birdland Homestead. It's still cold out, as you can see, and in this video I'm going to be answering one of the most common questions that I get. What is the best time of year to start a no-dig garden? What's that? What about you? Would you not fetch the ball? No? You know she's got it. Here. Come here. Come here. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Fetch. Luckily these gardens have been perennialized right from the start, so plants have been matured already. They've become fairly mature now in the last 2 growing seasons, so I don't mind the dogs actually walking among them or running. The only trouble is the paths need to be topped up with wood chips. As you can see, they do turn into a little bit of muck after a while, especially after excessive use. But no matter, we've got a wood chip pile over there. We'll get that done. I like to say any time of year is good. There's always that pressure of getting the current or the next growing season into your garden, or making the most of it, or even making use of it in the first place. But what I like to tell people is, whether it's autumn or summer or winter, it doesn't really matter. You can start your no-dig garden anytime. But if you get your materials sorted 3 months ahead of time, that would be always good, because your compost will need at least 3 months of rest. The more the better really, but 3 months is kind of the minimum. If you leave it in a pile, it'll actually mature and you can use it then to plant your things into it. If you set it up now, you'll have it year after year anyway, and it'll take very little maintenance and very little to replenish fertility. Just mulch it once a year with about 1 inch of compost, and that should help to feed the soil life, and the soil life is what feeds your plants. Your vegetables are only a byproduct, as Toby Hemingway once said. If you're only starting now, this time of year, really you're only worried about crops that actually take a long time to mature, and we're going to need some of those gardens that are not yet set up to grow various different crops, such as pumpkins, even though we're not ready yet. But those will not be planted out yet until there is no chance of frost, until the last frosts come out. I'd say probably about 2.5 months from now. Well, the good news is we do have some compost from last year and from the year before that, so we have well-matured compost that we can plant things into. If you've only found out about no-dig gardening now, and you want to turn your existing garden beds into no-dig beds, the best thing you can do is get those just topped off with some compost. Basically just mulch them with plenty of compost and stop digging them. That's really all there is to it. Of course, the best time to do that is when you have nothing planted in it. But if you have any garden beds that have perennials in them, just put a compost all around them. But if you are growing annuals, like vegetables for example, simply do it when the plants are either small or when they're not there. Then you can just dump a whole wheelbarrow straight on top and rake it out. It just makes life a lot easier, and your crops won't get in the way. If you're watching this late in the growing season, don't worry, you can still achieve a lot even with fall crops as well. So for example, things like brassicas will grow through the winter, especially the kind of ones that are cold hardy, like perennial kales and red Russian kale for example. And you can see the garden behind me here. That was only started about in July. Well, we started it a lot earlier than that, but we set it up with compost and planted it up in early July. So we still got in part of that growing season, but it was very productive even in the first year. If you're planting perennials, it doesn't really matter, because those will use the existing root system in the next growing season. So you're only adding on every single growing season. you're adding on to your productivity. If you like this video, you might enjoy joining one of our sessions of questions and answers where you, the audience, can actually email us. Simply email us to contact@gardensforlife.ie and email us any questions you have about gardening. We can answer homesteading questions too, food preservation, for example, or everything else related. So email us your questions or leave them in the comments below and join us on one of our questions and answers sessions. Some of them will be live, so if you want to find out beforehand when they're going to be on, just join our mailing list and we'll let you know. Thanks for watching. See you the next time. Bye bye.